He never drinks from the same cup twice and wears rubber gloves even when he is alone. When he steps outside, he dresses like a tourist so no one remembers his face. He only eats takeout from random places, and after every call he destroys the phone immediately. He sets alarms every 30 minutes, because assassins who sleep too deep don't wake up. He is a highly trained assassin who knows that details mean the difference between life and death, and his discipline paid off. Tonight he finally spotted his target, a high-profile figure in the luxury apartment across the street. But just as he sets up his sniper rifle and prepares to take the shot, something goes wrong. A woman with a perfect body suddenly walks into his scope, and for one split second, he can't help but look. This is his optimal firing window, so he opens his eyes again and pulls the trigger with full confidence. 任务失败杀手本想补枪，但专业的保镖团队没有给他第二次机会。That 1mm error shattered his perfect record, and not only meant the mission was over. After the failed hit, he becomes even more coldly focused than during the job itself, with no trace of panic. He immediately activates his escape plan, packs up his gear quickly, and even picks up the spent shell casing. It is basic counter-surveillance protocol. He puts on his helmet, hurries downstairs, and gets on an electric scooter parked out front. Compared to a car, a scooter is much more discreet in the tight alleys of Paris and easier to escape on. The next few hours are a textbook demonstration of how to disappear. He rides into a quiet side street. He sees a garbage truck up ahead doing its rounds and casually tosses the bag containing his expensive sniper rifle right into it. Then he ditches the scooter and throws his helmet into the river, every move smooth and precise with no hesitation. He goes into a convenience store and asks to use the bathroom, where he quickly strips off all his clothes. He wipes down every inch of his skin with wet wipes to remove any trace evidence, shaves his beard off completely. He changes into tourist clothes, and before leaving he sprays a ton of cologne all over the sink. He is trying to cover up any biological traces he might have left behind, and then he hails a cab straight to the airport. Before entering the terminal, he pulls out his last backup weapon, carefully wipes off all the fingerprints, and drops it in a trash can. Now he is carrying nothing illegal, but the real fear is all in his head. At the security checkpoint, he sees a police dog at the entrance staring right at him. The thought that he might still smell like gunpowder makes him too nervous to trust the dog's nose. So he makes an extremely cautious call, calmly steps out of line, turns around, and heads back to the bathroom. He cleans himself from head to toe all over again, even wiping down the sink he just used a moment ago. For him, missing a flight is better than taking even the smallest risk, and then his boss Hodges calls him. Afterward, he buys a ticket for a different flight and successfully boards using a fake passport. A failed mission means he has gone from being the hunter to being the hunted, and that shift makes him feel extremely unsafe. But when he drives his pickup truck back to what should have been his safe house, his sharp instincts tell him something's wrong. There are two strange footprints by the door and a bunch of cigarette butts scattered around. This isn't the work of a burglar, it is evidence that someone was staking out the place for a long time. He tenses up immediately, grabs the gun hidden in his truck, and rushes toward the house using the bushes as cover. Inside it is total chaos, blood splattered on the walls, the air thick with violence, and he searches frantically. But his wife is nowhere to be found. He finally calls her phone and learns she has been badly injured. She has already been rushed to the hospital. At the hospital, he sees his wife wrapped in bandages, barely alive. You can't have blood on your hands and expect to keep your life spotless at the same time. His wife's injuries are the blowback from his career and the spark that ignites his revenge. From this moment on, he is no longer killing for money. He is killing to take back control of his own life. The first step in his revenge is to become that cold, ruthless version of himself again. He goes home and digs up an equipment box buried under the yard filled with weapons, fake documents, cash, and several backup phones. His only lead is that green taxi. He drives his pickup around town for days until he finally identifies the cab company that owns the green vehicles. Late at night, he goes to the taxi company and takes advantage of the guards' inattention by pretending to ask about services. He accesses the computer system and pulls up all the vehicle trip logs. He quickly finds the cab that was near his house on the day of the attack and identifies the driver. The next day, he waits outside the company and tails the curly-haired driver to an isolated stretch of road. He poses as a passenger and gets in the cab, and before they've gone far, he pulls out his gun and the driver freaks out. Thinking it is a robbery, the driver pulls out his wallet, but the hitman takes it and asks about the big job 3 days ago. At gunpoint, the driver describes what he saw that day: a man built like a beast and a woman with white hair. They flew from a private airport and had him drive them straight to the hitman's villa. The driver offers him a cigarette, begging to be let go, but the hitman knows he has seen too much. He is a loose end that can't be left alive, so the hitman shoots him from behind without hesitation. If those two killers found his house, someone leaked the address and only one person has it, his handler, Hodges. He flies to New Orleans where he keeps a safe house stocked with weapons and fake IDs. Before the job, he hits a hardware store and buys a large trash can and cleaning supplies. He even picks up a nail gun, the kind used in construction. Hodges works in a high-security office building with facial recognition at every entrance. Disguised as a janitor, the hitman waits outside the building. When he sees a delivery guy heading in, he wheels his trash bin right behind him. The elevator reaches the target floor, and the delivery guy steps out, but the hitman stays calm. He walks to the door pretending to drink water and jams his foot in before it closes. Gloves on, toolbox in hand. He slips into the office where the secretary Dolores spots him first. Staring down the barrel of his gun, she has no choice but to walk him into Hodges' office. Hodges tries to hide behind professional codes and industry rules, but the hitman isn't buying it. He expects to get answers through interrogation, but something unexpected happens with Hodges. The so-called cunning boss is in terrible shape and has a heart attack from the pain in under a minute. He drops dead on the spot, but then Dolores, still tied up in the bathroom, speaks up. 他的条件很简单，也很悲凉。他希望杀手能给他一个意外死亡的结局。If she is missing or murdered, her kids get nothing, but an accident means full insurance payout. He agrees, and with her help, he finds the files on the two killers in the archives. The Beast, the woman with white hair, and their employer Claiborne, he gets all their information. He keeps his word, takes Dolores to the stairwell, and stages a fatal fall down the stairs. With the list in hand, his revenge tour officially begins, starting with the Beast. The Beast lives in a house with a yard and keeps a vicious pit bull as a guard dog. He goes to the store and buys premium steaks, a bottle of sedatives, and some malt liquor. After dark, he tosses the drugged meat into the yard, and the greedy pit bull passes out within minutes. He sneaks inside expecting an easy kill, but the Beast was already waiting, and a brutal fight breaks out. The Beast is monstrously strong, every punch a potential knockout, and the hitman is completely outmatched. He is getting beaten back, loses his gun in the chaos, and grabs a sharp metal hook in desperation. Even badly wounded, the Beast manages to get his hands on a weapon, but the hitman stays mobile. He retrieves his gun in the scramble and finally puts the Beast down for good. He locks the door and sets the entire house on fire, erasing all evidence. Next stop is New York to find the woman with white hair, and after days of surveillance, he sees she lives like a socialite. Tonight, she is dining at an upscale restaurant, and he realizes this is his window. When her date steps away to the restroom, the hitman walks over and sits down across from her. She doesn't seem surprised at all, like she has been expecting this day to come. She downs a glass of whiskey and starts rambling about some joke involving a hunter and a bear. She suggests they go outside and find somewhere with a nice view to finish this. They walk out to a path by the river, and suddenly she slips and falls to the ground. She reaches out her hand as if she is hoping he'll help her up, like a gentleman, but he sees right through the trap and shoots her without giving her a chance to strike. The final target is the billionaire Claiborne, and the hitman arrives in Chicago. Claiborne lives in a fortress-level luxury apartment with armored cars and bodyguards everywhere. A frontal assault would be suicide, so the hitman uses his technical skills and sneaks into the parking garage. He photographs the electronic lock model and gets a card cloner delivered. He follows Claiborne to the gym, waits for the bodyguards to look away, and swipes the access card from his locker. He clones it, and with the copied card, he walks straight into Claiborne's penthouse like he owns the place. When Claiborne sees the hitman suddenly standing in his living room, he is terrified and thinks it is a robbery. He babbles that he'll give him money, until the hitman pulls out the kill contract and Claiborne finally understands. But the conversation takes an unexpected turn because Claiborne isn't some mob boss. 他只是一个有钱的普通人。他解释说自己根本没想过要报复杀手。当时得知暗杀失败后 he suggested Claiborne pay an extra fee to clean up the mess. Claiborne paid to avoid trouble, and he has no idea what Hodges actually did with it or what happened next. Claiborne says this trembling, and the hitman stares at this terrified rich guy and suddenly realizes something. This entire bloodbath was just a cover-up staged by the middleman Hodges to hide his own screw-up. The real client was just a cowardly opportunist, so the hitman lowers his weapon and doesn't shoot. Claiborne nods frantically, because he is not stupid enough to mess with someone who can appear in his bedroom anytime. He He spares the final target, knowing fear is better control than a corpse. The hitman doesn't kill Claiborne out of mercy, but cold logic because there is no upside. Killing him would bring a manhunt, but keeping him alive and scared actually keeps the hitman safer. It confirms his core philosophy again. Everything is about survival, not justice, and at the end of the film, the hitman returns to the Dominican Republic, sitting poolside with his recovering wife in the sun. Even while relaxing, his eyes behind those sunglasses are still scanning the area, always alert and watching. His eye twitches slightly, a nervous reflex from living under constant pressure for so long.